Imagine a product so powerful it creates immense wealth without producing a single physical thing so invisible. Most people don't even realize they're purchasing it daily. That product is debt. Far from a neutral tool, debt has been deliberately engineered into the most profitable commodity in human history. It has funded wars, toppled empires, enslaved nations, and silently siphoned wealth from ordinary lives. Yet ask where debt came from, who designed it, or why it dominates our world, and most draw a blank. This isn't just economic history, it's the story of money and power itself. At its core, debt is a promise. Borrow today, repay tomorrow. But hidden in that promise is the mechanism of control: interest. Interest turns the future into profit. Ancient societies understood its dangers. Mesopotamians recorded debts on clay tablets, but periodically wiped them clean in debt jubilees. The Hebrew Bible commanded debt forgiveness every 50 years. The lesson was clear: uncontrolled debt enslaves populations. Yet, over centuries, elites learned not to erase debt, but to weaponize it. In medieval Europe, the church banned usury, but bankers disguised loans as trade contracts. By the Renaissance, families like the Medici built empires not on land, but on lending bankrolling kings and popes in exchange for political influence. Debt was becoming an engine of power. The real shift came in the 1600s with state debt. To fund its war against Spain, the Dutch Republic sold bonds to its citizens. War was no longer limited by a ruler's treasury, it could be financed by selling the future. England followed, founding the Bank of England in 1694, making national debt permanent. Bankers became indispensable to the state. Debt was now the foundation of power. The profits were immense. Lending to governments was safe. They could raise taxes to pay creditors. Wars expanded empires, opening new markets and more opportunities for debt. It was a perfect loop. More borrowing fueled more conflict, which made creditors richer. By the 18th and 19th centuries, bond markets in London, Paris, and Amsterdam powered global finance. Armies marched, colonies were seized all on borrowed money. Then debt seeped into daily life. The Industrial Revolution built railroads and factories on credit. Workers, paid by indebted companies, began borrowing to buy homes and goods. By the 20th century, debt was mass-marketed: mortgages, car loans, credit cards, student debt. Borrowing became the default condition of existence. The hidden genius or cruelties that debt creates recurring profit. Each interest payment transfers wealth from the debtor to the creditor, month after month, year after year. Unlike a product you buy once, debt is designed to be perpetual. A 30-year mortgage costs 2 to 3 times the home's price. A rolling credit card balance grows faster than your ability to pay. The promise becomes a trap. Debt requires no factory, no inventory. It generates wealth from time itself. Those who mastered this first, the merchants of Amsterdam, bankers of London, financiers of Wall Street, became architects of our financial system. A system that doesn't just manage debts, it manufactures, expands, and depends on it. After World War II, institutions like the IMF and World Bank turned debt into global discipline. Loans came with structural adjustment terms forcing nations to cut services, privatize assets, and surrender economic sovereignty. Debt became a lever of control. For ordinary people, debt was rebranded as aspiration. The mortgage sold the dream of homeownership tethered to decades of payments. By now, pay later became the norm. Debt was no longer shameful. It was how you participated in prosperity. For banks, it was a goldmine. For governments, it created the illusion of growth even as wages stagnated. For corporations, it guaranteed customers spending money they didn't have. Debt became the hidden engine of modern capitalism, infinitely scalable, requiring only signatures and the power to create money from promises. The system grew addicted to expansion. Banks didn't want debts repaid quickly. They wanted them rolled over, refinanced, extended. Governments found borrowing easier than raising taxes. Central banks ensured enough liquidity to keep the wheels turning. When addiction led to crisis, like the Latin American debt crunch of the 80s or the 2008 global meltdown, the response was more debt. Bailouts rescued lenders, not borrowers. After 2008, central banks slashed rates and flooded markets with cheap money, supercharging borrowing. Today, global debt exceeds $300 trillion, over 3 times world GDP. What's called growth is often leverage piled upon leverage. Debt profitability has never been higher. Banks earn interest and feed entire industries' debt servicing, collection, restructuring. Investors trade sovereign bonds. Hedge funds speculate on distressed debt. Rating agencies decide who borrows cheaply and who pays dearly. Debt is a marketplace where promises are priced, traded, and exploited. Its most insidious effect is concentrating wealth. Every interest payment moves money upward from households to banks, from nations to creditors. Those with assets borrow cheaply to buy more. Those without borrow expensively and remain trapped. Debt mirrors and magnifies inequality. Now, with central bank digital currencies on the horizon, debt is evolving again. Programmable, traceable money could mean loans approved or denied by algorithm, rates adjusted in real time, penalties enforced instantly. To creditors, it's efficiency. To debtors, it's less freedom. The most profitable product in history is being upgraded for the digital age designed behind closed doors. Far from public view, the lesson is clear. Debt is not neutral. It is a deliberately crafted product that turns time into money, hopes into interest payments, and nations into dependence. Financial freedom won't come from the system. The system thrives on your indebtedness. True wealth means minimizing reliance on borrowing, questioning easy credit, and recognizing that behind every loan is a machine built to profit from your future. From Mesopotamian clay tablets to modern mortgages, from Dutch bonds to Wall Street derivatives, the pattern holds. Debt enriches the creditor, burdens the debtor, and reshapes the world for those who control the flow of money. The cruelest trick. We're taught to call it progress and mistake borrowing for prosperity. Think you know who profits from war? Subscribe. I'll reveal what they don't want you to see.